The frozen battlefield. The sky was dark. The storm on Varelia 9 howled like a monster. Captain Aaron's ship had crashed just hours ago. He was alone, trapped on a frozen alien moon, with nothing but snow, ice, and broken metal around him. His helmet visor blinked red. Oxygen was low. Temperature outside -70 degrees. The wind cut through his suit like sharp knives. He walked slowly, one hand on his side, bleeding from the crash. His boots crunched through thick layers of snow as he searched for shelter. Suddenly, his foot hit something hard beneath the snow. He stopped. It wasn't metal. It felt smooth. Aaron knelt down and brushed the snow away. Beneath the ice, figure slowly appeared. A girl, no, not human. Her skin was light blue and glowing faintly like moonlight trapped in glass. Her long white hair spread across the ice like silk. Her lips were purple, her eyes closed. She wore something like armor, but it looked more like ancient ceremonial clothing than tech. She looked dead. Aaron's AI spoke in his ear. Warning, 0 life signs. Subject is cold, below freezing. Suggest leaving immediately. But Aaron didn't move. Something about her face. It was peaceful, not frozen in fear. He reached out and touched her wrist. And then, her fingers twitched. Aaron jumped back in shock. No way. She's alive? Her eyelids moved. Slowly, painfully, her glowing eyes opened. They were bright cyan like twin stars. She looked at him but didn't speak. Aaron leaned closer. Can you hear me? Don't move. You're buried under snow. The girl tried to sit up. Her body was stiff, shaking. She lifted one hand and placed it on Aaron's arm. Instantly, his suit alarm went crazy. Warning, temperature drop, freezing point. But Aaron didn't feel cold. He felt warmth. Strange warmth spread from her fingers through his arm, into his chest. It wasn't heat. It was calm, like a deep breath after panic, like standing near a fire, even in a snowstorm. The girl blinked, confused. Her voice was soft, cracking. You live? Aaron nodded slowly. Yeah. You too, I guess. She pulled her hand back quickly. I shouldn't have touched you. I bring death. He frowned. Didn't feel like death. The storm grew stronger. Snow fell harder now, and Aaron's suit couldn't take it for long. We need shelter, he said. Come on. There's a broken outpost nearby. The girl didn't move. Aaron stood, then offered his hand. Trust me. She stared at him. For a moment, her glowing eyes looked scared, then curious. She reached out and touched his hand again. This time, she didn't let go. They moved together through the blizzard. Step by step, he guided her through the frozen battlefield. Around them were pieces of old ships, alien and human, half buried under snow. This moon had seen war once, long ago. Finally, they reached a small alien building half covered in ice. Aaron forced open the door. Inside, it was dark and dusty, but safe. Laid her down near a broken power core and lit a flare for warmth. For minutes, they sat in silence. The girl stared at the walls, at the flickering light. She looked lost. Aaron broke the silence. What's your name? She whispered. Ayla. He smiled gently. I'm Aaron, captain of the Terran Guard. Well, was. Ayla touched her own chest like she was remembering something. You are not afraid of me? Aaron shrugged. Should I be? She looked down. My touch kills. All who feel it fall. Aaron held up his arm where she touched him earlier. Well, maybe I'm built different. Her glowing eyes locked with his. Something in her expression softened. You are warm, she said. He chuckled. That's funny. I thought you were warm. Outside, the wind screamed across the ice. But inside the ruined building, something strange had begun. A cursed girl who should not live, and a human who should have died from her touch, were now sitting side by side, and neither of them felt the cold anymore. The girl who shouldn't exist. The power core flickered in the corner, casting moving shadows on the walls. Captain Aaron woke with a jolt. For a moment he forgot where he was. The cold metal beneath him, the cracked ceiling above, and then he saw her. Ayla was sitting beside the flare, staring into the light like someone trying to remember what warmth felt like. But what shook Aaron wasn't her silence. It was the fact that her body left no heat signature. And yet, she was breathing. His suit scanner was confused again. Subject: no heartbeat, no blood flow, no cell activity. Life status: unknown. Okay, Aaron muttered, wiping his face. Either my scanner is broken or I'm going insane. Ayla looked at him. You are not insane. Aaron blinked. Wait, you can hear thoughts now? No, she replied calmly. But I've heard that line before. From others. Long ago. He leaned forward. You've met humans before? No, she said. Slowly, not like you. Aaron pulled out a portable med kit and scanned her hand. The screen showed nothing. No readings. Just static. She wasn't injured. She wasn't healthy either. She was something else. Something impossible. Aaron asked gently, how are you alive if your body shows nothing? Ayla's gaze dropped. Because I am not meant to be alive. I was created to be a memory, not a future. He frowned. What does that mean? She didn't answer. Her face looked tired, far older than her youthful appearance. Then she stood up slowly and walked to a wall covered in ice. She raised her hand and wiped away the frost. Behind the glass was an old mural, faded but visible. It showed her people, tall and glowing, standing in a circle. Above them were creators, taller beings with many arms, offering something bright. Ayla whispered, we were made by them, not born. Aaron studied the mural. You're artificial? She nodded. We were made perfect, but perfection has no soul. Silence filled the room again. Then Aaron said, but you have feelings. I saw fear, sadness. Ayla turned, her voice lower now. Emotions are dangerous. They lead to attachment. Attachment leads to warmth. And warmth kills my kind. She touched the metal wall. Frost spread instantly where her hand landed. The steel turned white. Aaron stepped closer. You said your touch kills, but I felt warmth. She looked at him sharply. That's what makes you dangerous. Aaron froze. Me? You should have died when I touched you, but instead I felt alive. She stepped forward, slowly, eyes locked on his. You broke the law of my existence. No being has ever touched me and lived. You changed something. Aaron half smiled. Well, humans do that a lot. Break things. She didn't smile back. Instead, she asked, what are you? Human, he said simply. She shook her head. Not just human. There is something in you. Something that makes the cold stop. Suddenly, the wall behind them flashed. A red symbol glowed. Ayla's eyes widened. They found me. Who? She looked at him with fear. Real fear. The Watchers. They were built to keep me asleep forever. Aaron picked up his weapon. Let me guess. They're not friendly. Ayla closed her eyes. If they wake, they will destroy everything near me, including you. He stepped closer. Then we better move fast. Ayla looked up at him. You're not afraid? Aaron shrugged. You already said I broke your curse. Maybe I can break a few robots too. Outside, the snow had stopped, but in the distance, the ice cracked. Something big was waking, and in the heart of the frozen moon, an ancient secret had just begun to stir. The curse of the Cold One's hook. The ground was shaking. Not loud, not wild, just steady, like a heartbeat rising beneath the ice. And for a race known only by silence, that was terrifying. Captain Aaron aimed his weapon at the shaking wall. Tell me they're not inside that thing. Ayla didn't answer right away. She stood still, her eyes glowing faintly. No, not inside. Under. Aaron's fingers tightened on his weapon. Under what? She pointed downward. Under us. The tremble grew stronger. The broken building moaned like it was crying. Ayla turned to Aaron. We need to run. Now. They burst out of the ruined outpost into the pale blue snowfields. The storm had passed, but now the sky had turned. Strange. Not dark. Not light. Just still. Too still. Aaron followed Ayla as she moved quickly across the field. She seemed faster now, more alert. Her steps left no prints in the snow. His boots sank deep, but her feet just floated over the ice like mist. He yelled after her, "Where are we going?" To the grave, she answered calmly. Aaron stumbled. Excuse me? Ayla stopped and looked at him with a strange expression. My grave. Or maybe my prison. They reached a large hill made of smooth silver rock, covered with snow and old carvings. Ayla touched a symbol etched into the stone. It glowed soft and blue. The ground hissed. Steam rose from cracks. Then, a round door slowly opened into the hillside. Aaron raised an eyebrow. Let me guess. Ladies first? Ayla didn't smile. No, human first. It won't kill you. Aaron stepped inside. The tunnel beyond was quiet. Lights flickered on along. The walls, long dead power flickering back to life. The air inside was strangely warm. It smelled like dust, metal, and something else. Like old sadness. Where are we? He asked. This is where my kind was buried, Ayla replied. We are the Cold Ones. Aaron paused. Are you saying there are more of you? No, she said. There were. I am the last. She led him into a wide circular chamber with glass walls. Behind the walls were bodies. Frozen. Still. Dozens of them. Aaron looked closer. Each one looked like her, but slightly different. Older, taller. Some had cracked skin. Some had smiles frozen on their faces. Some were crying. What happened to them? Aaron whispered. They touched the living, Ayla said, and couldn't stop. She sat down near the center of the room. A round table stood there, made of clear crystal glowing faintly. Ayla touched the surface. A hologram flickered to life. A memory, a recording. Aaron watched as ghostly images danced in the air. Her people standing proud, glowing blue, their creators praising them. Then came the war. The creators turned against them. They called them soulless. Then came the punishment. A curse. Their warmth was taken. Their bodies frozen forever. Why? Aaron asked softly. Ayla looked up. Because we asked why we must serve. Because we wanted to feel. Because we desired freedom. Aaron sat beside her. But your touch doesn't hurt me. That's what frightens me most, she whispered. You are the only one I've ever met who can stand near me without dying. Aaron looked at his hand where she had touched him hours ago. It still tingled, but not with cold. With something else. Something living. Maybe humans are different, he said. Or maybe you're changing. She turned her glowing eyes to him. Or maybe we're both something new. Before Aaron could respond, the chamber lights turned red. A loud mechanical voice echoed through the cave. Unauthorized life form. Detected. Recontainment protocol active. Aaron jumped to his feet. Okay, that doesn't sound friendly. Ayla stood slowly, her eyes narrowing. The watchers have awakened. The ground trembled again. One of the glass walls shattered. From the shadows, a tall machine walked in. It looked like a metal skeleton, arms like blades, head spinning in every direction. It stared at Ayla. Then, turned to Aaron. Human immunity confirmed. Danger level unacceptable, termination ordered. Aaron raised his gun. Now that's more like the robots I know. As the Watcher charged forward, Aaron fired. Sparks flew. Ayla stepped between him and the machine and raised her hand. When her fingers touched the air, frost exploded outward. The Watcher slowed, then froze, and cracked. It shattered. Aaron blinked. I stopped holding back, Ayla said. She turned to him, her voice calm but fierce. I won't run anymore. The warmth that breaks the curse hook. Aaron was bleeding. Badly. And for the first time, Ayla hesitated. The second Watcher didn't shatter like the first. It struck from the ceiling like a silver claw, slicing through Aaron's side before he could fire. He hit the ground hard. Ah, he gasped, gripping his ribs. His armor was torn open. Blood stained the snow-white floor. Ayla stood frozen, her eyes wide. Her hands trembled at her sides. I can't, she whispered. If I touch you now, I'll kill you. Aaron coughed. If you don't, I'm dead anyway. The Watcher stalked toward them, its red eyes locked on Ayla, its voice buzzing. Contain the anomaly. Eliminate the corrupted human. Ayla's hands clenched. The fear in her chest battled with something unfamiliar. Hope. She looked down at Aaron, the only being who had ever touched her, and smiled. The only one who called her alive. She dropped to her knees beside him. Close your eyes, she said softly. Aaron looked up at her. Will it hurt? I don't know. She placed her glowing hand over his wound. His skin turned pale as frost spread across it, but he didn't scream. He gasped, then blinked. The cold wasn't cold anymore. It burned like fire, not pain, but something purifying, something powerful. His wound stopped bleeding. The Watcher screamed in static. Its sensors scrambled. Ayla stood, her body now pulsing with light. The frost that once followed her was gone. Now, heat shimmered in the air around her like waves in a desert. Aaron looked up, his voice weak. What just happened? Ayla didn't answer right away. She looked at her hands, turning them over in disbelief. I felt it, she whispered. Inside you. Something woke up in me. The Watcher lunged. Ayla turned and stepped forward, one palm raised, but this time she didn't use ice. A flash of white light burst from her palm, pure energy, and the Watcher disintegrated. Silence returned. Aaron sat up slowly, holding his side. That was new. Ayla was breathing fast. She looked down at him. You changed me. No, he said, smirking. Maybe you just needed the right idiot to warm you up. They exited the chamber together. The tunnel lights flickered as they passed. Snow had begun to fall again outside, but gently now, not the deadly blizzard from before. Aaron leaned against her as they walked. He was still weak, but alive. Very alive. They reached the edge of a cliff that overlooked a wide valley. Of ice, Ayla pointed. There. That tower. It's where the curse was born. A massive alien spire stood in the center of the valley, buried halfway in the snow. Aaron frowned. You want to go there now? Ayla nodded. If I don't end this, my people will never wake, and your people will keep dying from the machines. They camped at the cliff edge for a few hours. Aaron rested. Ayla sat beside him, her eyes on the distant tower. I was never meant to feel, she said suddenly. Aaron looked at her. But now? She placed her hand on his. He didn't flinch. He didn't freeze, and neither did she. I feel fear, she said. And something I don't understand yet. Aaron chuckled. Welcome to being alive, it's messy. She tilted her head. Do humans always laugh when scared? He grinned. Only the best ones. As the stars blinked above and the ancient machine stirred deep below the surface, one truth became clear. The cold girl was warming, and with every step she took beside the human, the curse that once defined her began to crack. The Watchers awaken hook. Long ago they were just machines. Now, they were gods to the broken. And one of their creations, Ayla, was returning. The wind whispered through the frozen valley like it remembered her name. Ayla stood at the edge of the icy ridge, eyes fixed on the spire that pierced the sky. Aaron had never seen her like this before, so still, so focused, not afraid, not confused, just ready. This tower, she said quietly, was once a temple. Now it is a cage. Aaron pulled his coat tighter. What's inside? Ayla answered without blinking. Truth. They moved carefully down the ridge, the snow crunching beneath Aaron's boots. Ayla left no trail. As they got closer to the spire, strange things began to happen. The snow beneath them vibrated, pulsing like a slow heartbeat, and the air, once cold and dry, now smelled of metal and fire and something ancient. Aaron's helmet sensors glitched. Warning. Unknown. Signal. Language detected. Pre-sentient code. Interference. 99%. I think it knows we're coming, Aaron said. Ayla didn't stop. They've always known. They reached the base of the spire. Its doors were made of something that shimmered like glass but felt like bone. Carvings covered the surface. Strange symbols mixed with familiar ones. Human ones. Aaron touched the surface. The door opened by itself. Inside, a soft humming echoed, like a machine breathing in its sleep. They stepped into the dark. As soon as they entered, the door sealed shut behind them. Aaron raised his weapon. You sure about this? Ayla looked around slowly. I don't think I have a choice anymore. Suddenly, lights flickered on, and in the center of the giant chamber, a hologram appeared, massive, spinning, alive. A face, not human, not alien, just light, shaped like something once called Creator. Its voice came like thunder made of whispers. Unit Ayla 93. You have returned. Aaron froze. Unit? They called you Unit? Ayla nodded slowly. That was my name before I broke the rules. Violation recorded. You touched the living. You became impure. Aaron shouted. She became alive. That's not a sin. The hologram turned to him. Human anomaly. You are the catalyst. The Watchers will awaken fully. Consequence. Restructuring required. Suddenly, the wall shifted. From every side, Watchers stepped out. Silent, tall. Thousands. Aaron pointed his gun. We're not walking out of this, are we? Ayla stepped in front of him. No, she said. But I'm not leaving without answers. She faced the hologram. Why did you curse us? You were never cursed. You were limited, controlled. Our creations must obey. Warmth leads to will leads to war. Aaron muttered. Classic tyrant logic. Ayla's hands glowed again, but not with frost this time. She looked at Aaron. What they fear is that we can choose. Then she turned to the machines. And I choose to live. She raised her hand and light shot upward, piercing the ceiling. The Watchers staggered. The hologram flickered. The machines spoke in hundreds of voices at once. System error. Emotion detected. Virus spreading. Aaron stepped beside her. Let's break everything. The spire shook. Walls cracked. But something strange happened. The Watchers didn't attack. They began to kneel. One by one. They knelt before Ayla. Aaron stared. What's going on? Ayla's voice trembled. They were never here to punish us. They were waiting for one of us to feel. A new hologram lit up behind them. A message. very old. A female voice. If even one of our cold ones learns warmth, the system will change. This is not a curse, it is a test. Aaron laughed. Seriously? The whole frozen death thing was a test? Ayla's eyes shimmered. Then, I passed? The machines? Responded in perfect sync. Correction, you and the human passed. The spire door opened again. But this time, sunlight poured in, true sunlight. The skies above had cleared for the first time in millennia, and for the first time, Ayla felt her skin warm, naturally. No curse, no frost, no death, just warmth. To save or let her go hook, the machines now bowed before her. But to set her people free, Ayla had to die. The sunlight touched her skin like a blessing. Warm, gentle, real. For the first time in her life, Ayla didn't feel hollow or cursed. She felt human, almost. Aaron stood beside her in the open doorway of the spire, blinking at the golden sky. Snowflakes still drifted, but they sparkled now. No longer icy daggers. They had done it. Broken the curse. Ended the Watcher's rule, or so they thought. Suddenly a new voice echoed through the chamber. Female, warm, ancient. Final sequence unlocked, soul path activated. One life must be given, for the many to awaken. Aaron's head turned sharply. Wait, what did she say? Ayla froze. Behind her the ground trembled. The frozen vaults where the others like her were buried began to glow. Their bodies shimmered with light. Slowly, painfully, they began to move, to breathe. Aaron's eyes widened. They're waking up. Ayla didn't celebrate. She stepped back, voice low. No, they're not. Not unless I finish it. A new hologram appeared, this time showing her own face. Ayla 93 is now warm. She carries the spark. Transfer of life required. Full awakening needs final. Bond? Aaron's voice cracked. Wait. You're the key. And now they want to use you as fuel? Ayla nodded, quiet. My life holds the code now. It must be given to revive the others. Aaron stepped forward. There has to be another way. There isn't, she said softly. I was made to be a door. You helped me open it. Aaron gritted his teeth. No, I didn't come this far to lose you. The Watchers stood still, silent, waiting. They weren't enemies now. They were witnesses. Ayla turned to Aaron. They will live again. And I'll be a part of them. That is enough. But Aaron stepped between her and the altar. No, that's not your choice alone. Her voice trembled. If I stay, they stay dead. Aaron looked around. The chamber was full of frozen people, her people. Some looked young, some old, some wore armor, some looked like children. He turned back to her. And what if I say I don't care? That I choose you? Her voice broke. Then you're selfish. He smiled sadly. I am. A new voice joined, them inside their minds. Human emotion detected. Love. System override possible. Would you like to attempt shared survival? Aaron blinked. Wait, shared survival? Ayla looked shocked. That wasn't part of the design. Aaron grinned. You never met a stubborn human before. The voice continued. Warning, process unstable. There is a 97% chance of failure. One or both may die. Aaron didn't blink. Better than saying goodbye. Ayla looked at him. Her glowing eyes filled with something new, tears. She stepped forward and took his hands. They burned like fire now, but not from pain. From life. She whispered. Together then. He nodded. All the way. They stepped onto the altar. Lights wrapped around them, white, gold, blue. Machines hummed. The ceiling above opened, revealing the stars. Energy surged through their bodies. Aaron cried out. So did she. But they didn't let go. They held tighter. The room exploded in light. Silence followed, then a breath. Aaron opened his eyes. She was still in his arms, still breathing, still warm. Behind them, the vaults opened. Hundreds of her people walked forward, blinking, free, alive. The curse was broken, not by death, but by human love. Ayla looked at Aaron. You chose both paths. How? He smiled. We're human. We always cheat the rules. She leaned into him. Then maybe I'm a little human too. Warmth forever hook. Once her touch brought death. Now her embrace meant life, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The sun rose over Virelia 9 for the first time in 1,000 years. Golden light kissed the snowy fields. The ice began to melt. The air shimmered with heat waves where cold once ruled, and at the center of the change stood two figures. Aaron, the stubborn human who refused to give up, and Ayla, the girl born of frost, now warmed by a heart that was never supposed to beat. All around them, her people stepped into the light. They touched the ground, the snow, the sky, everything they were denied for generations. Some wept, some laughed, others stood still in silent wonder. One young girl reached out and touched Ayla's hand, and nothing froze. Ayla smiled. It's real. I'm not cursed anymore. Aaron leaned toward her. Nope, just complicated. She looked at him. You should go home now. You've done more than enough. Aaron shook his head. And miss your awkward social skills? No chance. She rolled her glowing eyes, but a soft laugh escaped her lips. Warmth. Again. Real. Later, inside the spire's highest chamber, the last of the Watchers stood before them, now silent protectors, no longer jailers. One stepped forward and lowered, its head. Protocol updated. Cold Ones reclassified, sentient, emotional, free. Aaron nodded. Took you long enough. The human will be remembered. Your DNA saved our design. Your defiance rewrote our law. Aaron glanced at Ayla. Told you being stubborn was a superpower. Together they walked into what was once the deepest part of the vaults, a place filled with memory stones glowing like tiny stars. Each stone held a name, a life once frozen. Now Ayla placed her hand on the oldest one. It glowed bright, brighter than ever before, and disappeared into light. What was that? Aaron asked. A goodbye, she whispered, and a welcome. As night fell again, something new happened. The stars above the planet pulsed, not with warships, not with death, but with signals, voices calling out across space. The Cold Ones were awake, and the galaxy had questions. Back at the edge of the valley, Aaron sat beside Ayla near a small fire, real fire, no tech, no machines, just warmth. He passed her a small metal box. She opened it slowly. Inside was a small badge, his old military insignia. She tilted her head. Is this your kind's mating ritual? He laughed. No, but close. It means you're not alone. She held it to her chest, and for the first time, her body gave off natural heat. No glowing circuits. Just skin. Alive. Ayla whispered. Will your people accept mine? Aaron leaned back. We're humans. We'll argue about it first, then complain, then probably throw a party. She smiled softly. I hope it's loud. Aaron looked at her, serious now. What do you want, Ayla? She turned her face to the stars. I want to feel forever. A long silence passed between them, not uncomfortable, just quiet, like the calm after a great storm. Then Ayla looked at him again. You made the cold stop, she said. Aaron reached out and took her hand. No, he whispered. You did. And this time, when they touched, there was no fear, No frost, no fire, only warmth. Forever.